Part 17. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 161. From the time everyone was surrounded by wolves, to the heavy rain, to Yang Lin riding a tiger, it only took 10 minutes. But these short 10 minutes gave everyone the feeling of watching a 3-hour blockbuster. Especially when the scene of the animals in the mountains finally working together to drive away the wolves was deeply imprinted in their brains. I believe that even after many years, they will not be able to forget this scene. Just when everyone expressed their gratitude to Yang Lin, everyone in the live broadcast room finally exploded. This is so exciting. I thought they were destined to be buried in the belly of a wolf. I didn't expect such a reversal. Not only did he ride a tiger, but animals like wild boars and leopards also listened to him. It's incredible. Is it possible that he can communicate with these animals? What kind of skills does Yang Lin have that he hasn't shown yet? It should be said that there is something else he doesn't know how to do. I had already guessed that Yang Lin would not leave them alone, but I didn't expect that he would come to save them in such a way. Yang Lin's after-sales service is quite good. If he says his life will be extended by 10 years, he will never let you die easily. You can't give Yang Lin any more money. That's right, you have to add more money. Planting Health Foundation is money to Plant Life Foundation, and saving lives is money to save lives. Stop talking, let me watch the replay again. The scene just now was so cool. While the audience in the live broadcast room was talking a lot, everyone at the scene had returned to the tent again. It was pouring rain outside the tent, but the lights were bright inside the tent. With such an artistic conception, everyone temporarily forgot what happened just now. But it's not their fault, too many things happened to them along the way. Each piece is enough to remember them for a lifetime. Whether it was the previous attack by foreign mercenaries, or Yang Lin personally suppressed the dragon vein, planting a foundation for the gambling king to extend his life. Or maybe it was the wolves they just encountered and Yang Lin's magic soldiers descending from the sky. This scene flashed through their minds like a slideshow. And time also passed by minute under such circumstances. Soon it was late at night, and everyone finally fell asleep in the tent with the sound of rain. If it were before, they would not dare to sleep so safely and boldly. But now that Yang Lin is here, they naturally don't have any worries. Just as the camp gradually became quiet, the internet on the other side became very lively because of what they had experienced this day. The first thing that hit the headlines on major websites was the news that Yang Lin had successfully planted a seed for the gambling king. Without him, just because it was related to the legendary figure Sheng Tianlong, the media naturally rushed to report on it. At the same time, this news also involves the White Dragon King's prophecy and the legendary Taoist secrets. These two gimmicks alone are enough to arouse the interest of countless netizens. And when they learned through the news that Yang Lin actually relied on the legendary secret technique of seed regeneration to reverse the fate of the gambling king, and received half of the family property donated by the gambling king, they were all shocked. Even if the secret technique of resurrecting the dead really exists, the gambling king actually gave half of his family property as a reward, which is a bit incredible. But the shock brought by this news was not over yet. The video of Yang Lin flying onto the dragon's veins and using his sword as a pen to create a dragon-locking situation once again shocked the majority of netizens. Nothing else, just because Yang Lin's posture in the video is so cool. Between the silver hooks and iron paintings, a line of mysterious runes was written on the cliff. This scene, which was like a movie clip, attracted a large number of female fans to Yang Lin on the spot. On this point, some related discussions about the traditional martial arts of the Dragon Kingdom have also started on the internet. Some netizens who were once skeptical about the traditional martial arts of the Dragon Kingdom are now shaken. After all, if the traditional martial arts of the Dragon Kingdom are just showy, how can we explain Yang Lin's performance? As for the subsequent video of Yang Lin leading a group of animals to the rescue, although it also caused quite a stir on the internet, perhaps because it was too much impact that night. The response from netizens was not that big. When the time reached late at night, the Come On Workers program team also announced the daily income of several celebrity artists today as usual. But what's different from the past is that this time Yang Lin's revenue figures were replaced by a huge question mark. There is no way, the program team doesn't know how to calculate Yang Lin's income today. If half of the gambling king's net worth is included, then there is no doubt that Yang Lin's income today will be an astronomical figure beyond everyone's imagination. Along with the hustle and bustle of the Dragon Kingdom internet, time soon came to the next morning. The sky had just dawned, and everyone in the camp was already ready to go. After a night of rain, there was a fresh air in the entire forest. After a simple breakfast, Yang Lin and the others returned the same way they came. But when passing by the mountain Col where a flash flood had previously erupted, something in the mountain Col caught everyone's attention. Among the rocks on the mountain Col, a huge snake skin was lying there quietly. Looking at the snake skin, which was more than 10 meters long, everyone felt their scalps numb. Oh my god, what a big snake this is to have such a big snake skin. Yeah, I've never seen such a big snake skin in my life. I'm afraid it's going to become a spirit. It must have passed by here when it rained heavily last night. Fortunately, we didn't drive overnight yesterday, otherwise we would have hit it. This mountain is really evil. It's full of wolves and big snakes. If you beat me to death, I won't come back. Teacher Yang, what are you doing? While everyone was still talking about the huge snake skin, Yang Lin had already walked towards the snake skin. Looking at the familiar snake skin in front of him, he couldn't help but smile. Is this the return gift you left for Pandeo? If you have some conscience, then Pandeo will accept it. As he spoke, he put away the snake skin in front of him. Snake skin of this level is already a rare treasure, and it may be of great use in the future. After he put away the snake skin, everyone continued on their way. It took them another half day before they returned to Jinghai City. Although only one day had passed, everyone felt as if they were in another world. Not long after returning to the hotel, Shen Tianlong had someone deliver a cash check and the equity transfer agreement for the resort. But before Yang Lin could go and see what the resort that was about to be named under his name looked like, an invitation letter was sent to him. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 162. Dea Zhang Yang, this is the invitation letter sent by Mr. Li of Jinlun Group. I sincerely invite you to attend the opening ceremony of Jinshan Plaza to be held at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. As soon as Yang Lin saw off the representative sent by Shen Tianlong, Li Wanbo sent someone to deliver the invitation letter. When he saw the invitation, he remembered that Li Wanbo had called him specifically not long ago. After pondering for a moment, he took the invitation and said at the same time, "Go back and tell you Mr. Li that Pandeo will definitely be here tomorrow." After receiving Yang Lin's reply, the young man who sent the invitation letter immediately breathed a long sigh of relief. He was also afraid that Yang Lin would refuse, which would make it difficult for him to interact with Li Wanbo. "Thank you for your hard work, master. We will send a special car to pick you up tomorrow morning." After some courtesy, the young man said goodbye to Yang Lin very politely. Just when Yang Lin was about to close the door and take a rest, three familiar figures suddenly appeared at the door of his room. It's not Boss Yang or the three of them or whoever it is. At first sight, Yang Lin didn't react when he saw the three of them, but Reba got into the room with quick eyes and quick hands. Wow! I didn't expect that the presidential suite here is quite luxurious. It's better than the other hotels I've stayed in before. Yes, the conditions here are several times better than ours, Lu Tianxian said with the same envy. He didn't even say hello to us when he came back. As they spoke, the three of them entered the room one after another, not treating themselves as outsiders at all. Yang Lin didn't care at all about the behavior of the three people. After getting along with each other for a period of time, he already knew the personalities of the three of them very well. What made him a little curious was that, under normal circumstances, the three of them should still be making money, so how could they appear in his room? Thinking of this, he immediately asked the doubt in his heart. As soon as he asked this question, Boss Yang and the three of them all rolled their eyes at him. Please, we are workers, not livestock. We must have 1 or 2 days a week to rest. That's right, we all have a rest today. I thought you just came back, so I came to see you and see if you have any places to go and play. But one look at it and I know you definitely have no idea. The three of them talked to each other, and Yang Lin quickly understood what was going on. Thinking of the equity transfer agreement that Shen Tianlong arranged for just now, he said casually. Since you have nothing to do, why not accompany Pandeo to visit Pandeo's resort? As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the three people suddenly froze. Your resort. As soon as the three people said their doubtful words, an equity transfer agreement was placed in front of them. After looking through it carefully, the three people's eyes immediately lit up. Hey, isn't this a coincidence? I was just saying that I didn't know where to go to relax. At the resort, you can tell at a glance that there are many places to play and eat. It would be even better if there are hot springs. The most important thing is that with the big boss Yang Lin here, we don't have to pay any money. It's perfect. As they spoke, the three of them all looked at Yang Lin. And Yang Lin seemed to have thought of something, and quickly added another sentence. In that case, let's just call Xiao Yuiyu and the others. Anyway, everyone has a rest today. After hearing his words, Boss Yang and the other three nodded. Half an hour later, all 7 artists from the Come On Workers program group gathered together. After borrowing a van from the program crew, Xiao Yuiyu drove everyone to the resort called Dalong Villa. They thought that the name of the resort was so unsophisticated, so the scale of the resort must not be that great. But when they officially arrived in front of the villa, they discovered that the real situation was completely different from what they thought. Looking around, this resort named Dalong is surrounded by mountains and rivers, with an open beach not far away. There are pavilions, and various recreational facilities in the villa. Tennis courts, football pitches, and even 2 full-size golf courses. There are a large number of luxury cars parked at the door. You can tell at a glance that this is a place where rich people often come. After the shock, everyone's faces couldn't help but show a hint of surprise. Wow! This place is too luxurious. Did that gambling king really give this place to you? Yes, this villa is worth at least several hundred million. He is so generous. There is nothing I can do. Who asked Yang Lin to save his life? Why do you care so much? Today's mission is to have fun. People who go to work every day are almost turning into machines. That's right, let's talk after we get in. After expressing their inner feelings and parking the van, several people followed Yang Lin and walked directly into the villa. Considering that they were going on vacation today, several people were dressed very low-key. Except for Yang Lin, everyone wore standard peaked caps and large sunglasses. So even if they were walking struttingly on the road, no one would be able to recognize them. However, when they entered the reception hall of the villa, something unexpected happened. I'm sorry, sir, our resort does not accept individual guests. We only provide services to the members of the resort. And if you want to become a member of ours, you not only need to be invited, but you also need to deposit 5 million in advance. So if you want to play nearby, there is a farmhouse 10 kilometers away, which may be more suitable for you. When the receptionist at the front desk said this, several people were obviously stunned. Although she was smiling the whole time, a deep contempt could be felt in her tone. This may also have something to do with the fact that the people she interacts with in daily life are either rich or noble. In her eyes, Although Yang Lin and others all have extraordinary temperaments, they are all too ordinary and young. They don't look like people who can afford to spend money here. So she didn't shy away from speaking at all. After saying this, she stopped paying attention to Yang Lin and others, and started chatting with another young lady at the front desk. Faced with this situation, Boss Yang and others couldn't help but look at Yang Lin. After all, strictly speaking, Yang Lin is already the boss of this place. Just when Yang Lin was about to explain the situation, a young man with a stern expression and a strong body suddenly walked out of the villa. When he passed by the reception hall, his eyes inadvertently glanced at Yang Lin, and a look of surprise appeared on his face instantly. "Taoist Yang? Why are you here?" As soon as the cold young man finished speaking, a middle-aged man with a beard got out of a luxury car at the entrance of the hall on the other side. Originally, the bearded middle-aged man seemed to be chatting with the friend next to him. But when his eyes saw the familiar figure in the hall, he immediately left the customers beside him and walked quickly into the hall. As he walked, there was a hint of joy on his rough face. "Taoist priest. What a fate. We meet again. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes." Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 163. Suddenly hearing those two voices, Yang Lin realized that the two people were still familiar faces. The person striding towards him was clearly Luo Chen, the gangster. And the person who happened to walk out of the villa was Long Wu, who had just left in the morning. Both of them recognized Yang Lin's identity at this moment. After the shock, Long Wu was the first to speak. "Daozang Yang, why are you here? Are you here to play too?" After saying this, he seemed to have thought of something, and immediately showed a hint of enlightenment. "By the way, Mr. Sheng seems to have transferred this villa to you." As soon as Long Wu said these words, Luo Chen, who had just come over, showed a look of surprise on his face. "No wonder you are here, Taoist priest. It turns out that this villa has changed hands and is now in your name. That is really gratifying. Next time I will bring more friends to support you, Taoist priest." The two of them were talking to each other, which not only made other guests present stunned, but even the two ladies at the front desk looked dumbfounded at the moment. Yang Lin and the others were not very familiar with it, but Long Wu and Luo Chen knew about it. One is a guest of their boss, and the other is a super VIP here who spends tens of millions every year. Of course, what the two of them said was untrue. At this moment, a middle-aged man with a good temperament wearing a suit walked over from the side with a flattering look on his face. "Hello, Taoist Master Yang, I am the person in charge of Dalong Villa. My name is Ding Dapen, and I am Mr. Sheng's distant nephew. Mr. Sheng has already said hello to me. From today on, everything in the villa will be at your discretion. Did you come here today to inspect the situation of the villa?" When the middle-aged man's words fell into the ears of the two front desk ladies, their already unattractive faces turned even pale. Fortunately, Yang Lin did not embarrass them. After greeting Luo Chen and Long Wu, he turned his attention to Ding Dapen. "There is no need for inspections or anything like that. How this villa was run before will be the same way it will be run in the future. Pandeo mainly brought his friends here to play today. You just need to introduce what projects you have here." Ding Dapen breathed a sigh of relief when he heard that Yang Lin was not here to inspect the work and had no intention of intervening in the management of the villa. Immediately he introduced the villa project and even acted as a tour guide along the way. During this process, Luo Chen also accompanied him throughout the process. Soon everyone was brought inside the villa. As seen from the outside, this resort has everything, including bathing, hot springs, hunting grounds, golf courses, beach volleyball, song and dance performances, and outdoor barbecues. All imaginable forms of entertainment can be found here. Boss Yang and other celebrities were immediately dazzled by it, and soon they were immersed in it. And just when they were enjoying their rare vacation, Yang Lin had already entered a secluded guest room. Also present were Luo Chen and a middle-aged man who got off the bus with him earlier. "Mr. Luo, there is no one else here now. You should tell me what happened to you." As soon as Yang Lin said this, Luo Chen also had an embarrassed smile on his face. "I can't hide anything from you, Taoist master, but this time it's not my business, but my friend's." He was in a little trouble. Hearing Luo Chen's answer, Yang Lin's eyes shifted from him to the man behind him. With just one glance, Yang Lin raised his eyebrows. "This friend of yours must be from the north. He is full of rusticity and bad luck." As soon as these words came out, the skinny high school senior who was following Luo Chen suddenly showed a look of surprise on his face. "How did you figure it out, Taoist priest?" "It still needs to be seen. If Pandeo's guess is correct, you must have been plagued by bad luck recently, and nothing goes well for you." "Yes, yes. You, the Taoist priest, have already said it all." The thin high school senior nodded quickly. "It's not just bad luck, it's just bad luck. This time not only did I lose all the money I had saved over the years, but I almost got into a lawsuit. I shouldn't be obsessed with collecting that statue of the fox fairy's wife." As he spoke, a look of regret appeared on his face. After his narration, Yang Lin roughly knew what happened to him. It turns out that he is a second-hand dealer who specializes in selling second-hand goods and local specialties. Not long ago, he collected a porcelain statue in a small county in the northern part of the Dragon Kingdom. The owner of the statue is the famous fox fairy Tai Nai in the north, also known as Hu Santai. Originally this was nothing, but what a coincidence that he accidentally broke the porcelain statue of the fox fairy grandma. Then a series of strange and unfortunate things happened. Because of this, he blamed all this series of events on the fact that he had offended the fox fairy Tai Nai. This time he came to Jinghai partly because it was far away from the north and could be avoided, but also because he wanted to seek help from his buddy Luo Chen. After listening to his story, Yang Lin also showed a thoughtful expression on his face. From the first moment he saw this person, he had actually noticed something was wrong with him. But it wasn't that he was entangled with something unclean, but that this person was entangled with too much karma. His bad luck must have been caused by his inability to resolve the karma on his body. After understanding this, he suddenly became curious about the so-called Fox Fairy Queen. What he can be 100% sure of is that there are no gods or immortals in this world, but there are some things that have undergone some magical changes after enduring too much karma from humans. Or maybe there are other things in this world that can also be cultivated with the help of cause and effect. It seems that I have to go to the north to take a look when I have time. Maybe I can find some interesting things there." As he spoke, he patted the thin high school senior's shoulder and absorbed all the irresolvable karma on his body into his body. And the thin high school student obviously didn't know this. "Taoist priest, you must find a way to save me. If this continues, I feel like I am going to die." However, facing his prayer, Yang Lin just smiled. "Don't worry, Pandeo has already solved it for you." "Ah? Has it been resolved? How about, Taoist priest, give me a talisman or something, or drink a bowl of talisman water." He obviously didn't believe that it was resolved so easily, and his face was still full of anxiety. "How about you tell me how much it will cost to solve this matter? As long as you ask, money is not an issue." Seeing that the thin high school student was stunned, Yang Lin casually took out a few blank yellow talismans from his sleeves and handed them to him. "Put one close to your body, and drink the other 3 into talisman water every day for 3 days. As soon as these words came out, the thin high school student was immediately overjoyed. The moment he took the yellow talisman, he felt that his body felt much more comfortable. Just when he was about to ask Yang Lin how much these yellow talismans cost, Yang Lin suddenly looked out the window. The next second, he walked straight out of the room amid the puzzled looks of Luo Chen and the other two. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 164. Since Dalong Villa is built along the sea, there is a beach not far from the private room. It was noon at this moment, so there was no one on the beach at all. Only Boss Yang and a few others were playing beach volleyball there in cool clothes. When they saw Yang Lin coming out of the private room on the side, they immediately took the initiative to greet him. Yang Lin, do you want to come and play together? Yeah, come here to play volleyball and relax. After playing, we'll go soak in a hot spring, then go hunting in the mountains over there, and finally have an outdoor barbecue. Would you like to change your Taoist robe? It's so hot. However, Yang Lin turned a deaf ear to the calls of several people. The next second, under the doubtful eyes of several people, he picked up a surfboard from the side. Before anyone could figure out what he was going to do, he threw the surfboard in his hand towards the sea. After the surfboard flew more than 10 meters, he suddenly took a big step forward, then jumped lightly, and landed firmly on the surfboard. In an instant, he put his feet on the surfboard and put his hands on his back, breaking through the waves in a gliding manner and speeding towards the deep water. Such a picture instantly attracted the attention of Boss Yang and others who were playing volleyball. When they saw Yang Lin's graceful figure breaking through the waves, their eyes couldn't help but show a hint of wonder. I didn't expect Yang Lin to be able to surf. I really underestimated him. But his surfing posture looks weird. It doesn't look like surfing, but more like riding a sword. Yes, who can surf in a Taoist robe? Tell me why he thought of surfing. I don't know, maybe I think it's fun. At this moment, everyone obviously didn't think so much, and just thought that Yang Lin was happy to see Hunter. But they soon discovered that things didn't seem to be what they thought. After Yang Lin flew hundreds of meters on his surfboard, he suddenly grabbed something from the water. At the beginning, no one could see clearly what he was holding in his hand. It wasn't until he came towards the beach on his surfboard that everyone finally saw him clearly. The moment they saw it clearly, everyone was shocked. Because the person being held by Yang Lin at this moment turned out to be a child who looked to be only 4 or 5 years old. The child didn't know how long he had been soaking in the sea water, and his face was already a little blue. When Yang Lin took the child off the surfboard, everyone gathered around him immediately, including Luo Chen. Oh my God, whose child is this? No one knows even if he was washed into the sea by the waves. Yes, he must be the child of a guest in the villa. He is really big-hearted. Thankfully Yang Lin found him, otherwise he would have drifted further. I don't know if there is any hope of help. Looking at him like this, it's hard to tell. Just as everyone was talking about it, a group of men, women, and children suddenly hurried towards the beach. As they walked, they looked around and shouted, "Xiao Chen! Xiao Chen, where are you? Don't scare Mom! Xiao Chen, stop hiding now!" Perhaps they saw a group of people gathering here, so the group immediately turned their attention. And when they saw the little boy who was put on the beach by Yang Lin, who didn't know whether he was alive or dead, their expressions changed instantly. The next second they ran over quickly. When they finally confirmed that the boy was the person they were looking for, each of them immediately looked uneasy. One of the middle-aged beautiful women almost fainted on the spot after seeing the boy's flat chest and livid face. After finally being helped up by others, she immediately knelt down next to the boy. While touching the boy's cold face with her hands, she said in a trembling voice, "Xiao Chen, don't scare Mom, get up quickly. Why did you run out to play by yourself without telling your mother? Don't let anything happen to you. If something happens to you, how will your mother survive?" While the beautiful middle-aged woman was crying, a man wearing a casual shirt next to her hurriedly checked on the boy. At the same time, he did not forget to provide first aid measures to the boy. But the boy had obviously been drowning for a long time. Even after being rescued for a long time, he still didn't react at all. Heartbeat, breathing, pulse, all gone. Seeing that the boy seemed to be completely hopeless, the man in the shirt suddenly collapsed on the ground. The group of people just realized something immediately when they saw this, and two of the white-haired old men fainted on the spot. In the process, the management of the villa also came late. As the person in charge, Ding Daipen realized that the situation was not good the moment he saw the little boy lying on the ground. But before he could give any explanation, the man in the shirt from before suddenly ran up to him and grabbed his collar. "Tell me, why do you let a 5-year-old kid run to the beach alone? Why are there no security guards here?" Faced with the sudden questioning, Ding Daipen could only show a wry smile. "Mr. Gao, please listen to my explanation." "I don't need any explanation. I only know that if something happens to my son here, you must be responsible. Don't think that since this is Shen Tianlong's place, I can't do anything to you. If there's no way to save my son today, I won't let you continue here." After saying these cruel words, the man in the shirt came to the side of the beautiful middle-aged woman again. After some comfort, he was ready to call 120. Even though he already knew that calling 120 would not change the final result. Just when he picked up the phone, a gentle voice suddenly sounded from the side. "Sir, you know that this child cannot be saved even if he is sent to the hospital, so why waste this effort?" Suddenly hearing this sound, the movement of the man in the shirt's hand stopped inexplicably, and at the same time, his slightly angry eyes followed the direction of the sound. The next second a young Taoist priest appeared in front of him. Before he could figure out why a Taoist priest appeared here, the Taoist priest continued. "Your Majesty has been drowning for half an hour. According to common sense, he will definitely die. But maybe it's because of your ancestors' good deeds. Although his soul has left his body now, there is still life in his body. As long as his soul is brought back, he can live." As soon as he finished saying this, everyone at the scene showed strange expressions. After all, this statement is too outrageous. From their point of view, it was clear that this child was hopeless, so how could there be any possibility of resurrection? Not to mention the method of summoning spirits. The atmosphere at the scene suddenly became awkward. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 165. The ethereal thing like the soul is no stranger to the people of the Dragon Kingdom. However, with the advancement of science, this statement has gradually been classified as feudal superstition. So when Yang Lin came up with the idea that the drowned child had lost 3 souls and 7 souls, everyone's first reaction was that they didn't believe it. Especially the boy's relatives. "Don't listen to this Taoist priest. Send Xiao Chen to the hospital first. Maybe he can be saved if he is sent to the hospital." "Yes, but don't miss the golden rescue period." "What kind of soul, etc., that's what rural people say. How about I drive Xiao Chen directly to the hospital? It will be too late." "That's right, saving Xiao Chen is the most important thing now. We'll settle the score here later." In the face of all the relatives talking to each other, the man in the shirt holding the boy was not ready to delay any longer. But just when he was about to leave again, Yang Lin's voice came again. "Your young master was born in a yin year in a yin time and a yin moon. He is destined to have many disasters. If Pandeo's calculations are correct, he should have experienced a death disaster when he was born. She must have suffered from a serious illness when she was 3 years old. She must have received guidance from an expert at that time, so she saved her life. And the reason why this is happening is because you and your wife are destined to have no children." As soon as Yang Lin said these words, The man in the shirt who was just about to start suddenly stopped again, and then looked at Yang Lin in disbelief. Obviously, what Yang Lin just said is correct. At this moment, a beautiful girl in her early 20s wearing a shirt seemed to have thought of something and quickly took out her phone to look at it. The next second I heard her say loudly in an extremely unexpected voice, "You are Yang Lin, the star who is very popular on the internet recently and knows how to tell fortunes." After being surprised, the girl quickly ran to the man in the shirt. "Brother, he is Yang Lin. He is a Taoist priest with real abilities. How about we give it a try according to the method he said? Only he can save Xiao Chen now." Hearing the girl's words, the man in the shirt first frowned, then glanced at his wife who was crying beside him and had no energy left, and finally let out a long sigh. "Taoist priest, if I can really save my son according to the method you said, from now on, you will be the great benefactor of the Gao family in our imperial capital. Just don't know what we need to do." There is no doubt that at this moment, he has placed his last hope on Yang Lin. And Yang Lin was not ambiguous at the moment. "Your noble son has lost 3 souls and 7 souls. Now only the soul-calling method can reunite his soul. The soul-calling method is ineffective on others. Only those close to you by blood can have an effect. You two just need to follow Pandao's instructions." While talking, Yang Lin asked Ding Daipen to bring incense, candles, and paper, and at the same time write the child's birth date on red paper. After doing this, he asked the child's parents to each put a piece of the little boy's favorite clothes on their shoulders, one facing north and the other south along the coastline. Walking and shouting. After each had walked dozens of steps, the two of them looked in the direction of the sea. "Xiao Chen, come back. Xiao Chen, come back." Just after they shouted 9 times in a row, the little boy who had been placed flat on the ground by Yang Linping suddenly coughed. Even the little face that had turned ashen gradually began to turn red. When everyone around him saw this, their eyes widened. "It's amazing. Oh my God, he's actually alive. This is incredible. How on earth is this done? Quick, 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 press the sea water out of his belly. It's just a miracle." While exclaiming, everyone quickly checked on the boy's condition. What shocked them was that at this moment, the boy's heartbeat, pulse, and body temperature had gradually returned to normal levels. It was completely different from a minute ago. It is almost unnecessary to think about it and know that the credit for all this must be the soul-calling ceremony just now. At this moment, everyone present suddenly felt that their worldview was shaken. Even Xiao Yuyu and other people who were traveling with Yang Lin were no exception. Although they had heard a lot about Yang Lin's deeds during this period, they were far less shocking than seeing it with their own eyes. And just when everyone felt incredible, the child's parents also saw what was happening here and immediately ran over quickly. After seeing that everything was back to normal for his child, tears of joy and excitement immediately fell down his face. "Oh, Xiao Chen, you just scared Mom to death. As long as it's okay, it'll be okay." As the 3 of them hugged each other tightly, the atmosphere at the scene couldn't help but become warmer. I don't know how long it took before the man in the shirt let go of his family and walked to Yang Lin with a grateful expression. "Thank you, Taoist priest, for saving your life. Your kindness will be unforgettable to me, Jiao Mingshan." Faced with the man's thanks, Yang Lin acted very indifferently. Saving one life is better than building a 7-level pagoda. Your young master's encounter with a poor man is his destiny. However, although he escaped this time, there will be another catastrophe when he is 16 years old. If you don't want him to have trouble, it is best to move away from the current residence. Remember, the more you live, the more likely you are to move away. The further south the better. After casually saying this, Yang Lin walked straight to the side. Although he has already felt the huge karma from this family, he is in no rush to harvest it at the moment. He had a hunch that he and this family would meet again soon. And perhaps because the little boy's body had not fully recovered, the family did not come to chase Yang Lin immediately. On the other hand, Boss Yang and a few others have been following Yang Lin. Obviously they were extremely curious about what had just happened, but they were too embarrassed to ask directly. Soon they arrived at the outdoor barbecue area of the villa. In this area, in addition to a large number of barbecue equipment and tools, there are also hunting equipment such as bows and arrows. The moment they saw these things, their interest changed. Hey, there seem to be hares, chickens, and ducks nearby. How about we catch a few and roast them? Good idea. I happen to be a little hungry. Let's see who catches the prey first. It must be me. As they spoke, several people forgot about what had just happened, picked up the hunting tools and went into the hunting area nearby. Yang Lin was naturally invited by them. Originally he didn't want to get involved, but he couldn't resist the begging of several people, so he finally carried a bow and a pot of arrows and entered the hunting area. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 166. Since Dalong Villa is close to mountains and rivers, the villa has also directly opened up a forest and stocked a large number of non-protected birds and beasts in the forest. Guests in the villa can hunt anywhere they want. After catching the prey, it is handed over directly to the chef in the barbecue area for cooking. The main thing is freshness. However, Boss Yang and others obviously underestimated the difficulty of hunting. After wandering around the hunting area for more than 10 minutes, I still found nothing. Even if the prey runs in front of them, they can watch it slip away. Seeing that several people had been busy for a long time and found nothing, Yang Lin, who was slowly following them, shook his head helplessly. The next second, he picked up a stone from the ground and flicked it into the grass. Then there was a scream, and a big, plump cock burped on the spot. Seeing this scene, everyone could not understand what was going on. Their eyes looking at Yang Lin were instantly full of expectation. And this is just the beginning. In the following time, it became his personal show. Either throwing stones or shooting arrows. Every time he takes a shot, a prey falls. In less than 5 minutes, his left and right hands each carried several prey, including chickens, ducks, and rabbits. It immediately stopped the remaining few people from taking action. Faced with this situation, several people also had awkward smiles on their faces. It's harmful. If I had known earlier, I would have eaten ready-made food outside. That's right, why do you want to come in and be this conspicuous bag? These free-range poultry should be delicious. It doesn't matter. Hunting is not my strong point, cooking is. You will see how I perform later, Xiao Yuiyu immediately said, patting his chest. 20 minutes later, when everyone looked at the carbon-like object on the barbecue grill that could no longer be distinguished, Xiao Yuiyu's expression instantly became awkward. Well, cooking is actually not my strong point, eating is. At the same time, the smell of meat was already wafting from where Yang Lin was. While Yang Lin and others were enjoying their rare leisure time here, a group of staff from the Come On Workers program group were once again gathered together by the chief planner Yao Yuan. From the heads of various departments to those who ordered lunch boxes, everyone was present. And the reason why they mobilized troops and mobilized people in such a way was naturally not because of idle panic. After all the personnel arrived, the chief planner Yao Yuan also said directly. The main purpose of calling everyone together today is to collect everyone's opinions on the content of the next stage of the program. Through the joint efforts of all of us, the program has been widely praised since it was broadcast, but now there are already program groups on the market that follow suit. So in order to ensure the effectiveness of our program, I think we need to make some small changes in the content of the second stage. As soon as he said these words, Everyone present nodded immediately. In the first stage, several artists basically experienced the life of ordinary people as ordinary workers. But I think this kind of experience is not enough, so I think in the second stage of the program, celebrities can actually try to integrate into workplace life, not just in the form of mobile vendors. This will make it more relevant to ordinary people's lives. Mr. Yao, do you mean to let those celebrities experience 996? A person in charge of the advertising department suddenly asked with a puzzled look on his face. No, how can we let these celebrities become social animals? However, this is indeed the current mainstream status quo, but if they are really allowed to enter the ordinary workplace, the effect of the program will be a little worse. It's just that it's annoying enough to go to work every day, but then you have to watch other people go to work after get off work. The main reason is that the life of ordinary office workers is too boring. They spend all day in the office. I don't think this is appropriate. I feel so too. Suddenly, everyone in the conference room raised objections. But Yao Yuan said calmly. I didn't say let them do ordinary jobs like ordinary people. Can't they take some special jobs, such as teachers, police officers, firefighters, delivery workers, etc. These industries are grounded, but they don't have to be boring every day like normal work. As soon as these words came out, everyone who was full of objections just now suddenly became interested. If it's the professions you mentioned, Mr. Yao, they are indeed more interesting than ordinary professions. And I suggest that these stars can rotate with each other and do each position. I agree. Although these positions are special, they are also one of thousands of migrant workers. It is very meaningful for these celebrities to participate in the experience. Then let's start from tomorrow. Tomorrow happens to be a new cycle. The only troublesome thing is that we need to connect with those work units. It's okay. That's easy to say. With the popularity of our program now, as long as we say hello, there will basically be no problem. Then how should we choose a specific career? Should we let the celebrities choose it themselves? It would be less dramatic if I picked it myself. In my opinion, we might as well just draw lots. That's a good idea. As everyone spoke to each other, the basic tone of the next stage of the program was soon determined. Not long after it was confirmed, the program team officially announced the arrangement on the official website and video account. When netizens learned that the next stage of the program would be launched in this form, they also had different opinions. It's very good. I really want to see these celebrities engage in different positions, but I don't know what careers they will have. I think it's pretty good too. After all, I can't do 996 alone. Would this limit the performance of those stars? That is to say, if they are allowed to enter the normal workplace, I am worried that they may be affected by their star halo. I still prefer to see them setting up street stalls. First I will set up a street stall, then I will enter the workplace, and finally I will start a business and run a company. Then I'm quite looking forward to them starting a business. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. I hope you don't disappoint me. Just when there was a heated discussion about this matter on the internet, Yang Lin and other celebrities outside the country also received notice from the program team. When they learned that they would be integrated into various professions the next day, their faces showed not only surprise but also expectation. And this expectation did not last long. Because just after they came back from Dalong Villa, the program team sent a box for lottery. This draw will also determine the careers they will engage in starting tomorrow. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 167. In the hotel, when everyone learned that the career they would pursue in the second stage would be determined by drawing lots, there was a hint of surprise on their faces. What did the show crew think? My stall has just started to improve, and they asked me to go to work. That's right, my daily turnover is guaranteed to be more than 800 yuan now, So why do I still have to work? Actually, it doesn't matter. I think it might be a little easier to go to work. I hope the program team will not create any weird professions this time. While talking, everyone began to draw out the occupations for the next day. Kun Kun, who was the first to draw lots, immediately showed a look of surprise on his face after he pulled out a piece of paper and saw the occupation on it. He's actually a real estate consultant. What is a real estate consultant? After hearing his words, several people present immediately showed sympathetic eyes. You don't even know that a real estate consultant is just selling a house. Xiao Yuiyu was the first to respond. When Kun Kun heard that he was selling a house, he was stunned for a moment, but showed a hint of excitement the next second. This is a good profession. With housing prices so high now, the salary of a real estate consultant should also be quite high. That's it. From tomorrow on, I will become a qualified real estate consultant. Just as Kunkun's face was full of passion, Huahua also picked up a career of her own. The one I got was a delivery rider. It's great. I don't have to stay indoors all day like a normal job. Besides, the more work you do, the more you get. Maybe I can earn even more than before. Takeaway is so expensive now, I should be able to earn a lot in a month. Faced with the optimistic attitude of the two, the remaining people did not delay. Lots were drawn soon after. Among them, Xiao Yuiyu drew his favorite bus driver. Boss Yang got the junior high school teacher, Lu Tianxian got the newspaper reporter, and Reba got the trainee lawyer. Several people were quite satisfied with this result. As a result, only Yang Lin is left to draw lots. Thinking of this, several people looked at Yang Lin. Under their gaze, Yang Lin put his hand into the lottery box. After he opened the result, a profession that was beyond everyone's expectations appeared in front of them. I saw the word police clearly written on the note. Suddenly, several people present were in an uproar. Oh my God, how come there is a profession like police? Yeah, I thought they were all ordinary professions like ours. I didn't expect there to be hidden professions. Asking Yang Lin to be a policeman seems a bit weird no matter how you think about it. But when I think about it carefully, it seems quite fun. Don't tell me, among the few of us here, except for Yang Lin, others may not be able to do the police job. Indeed, he has helped the police solve several cases before. As several people spoke to each other, Yang Lin looked calm. For him, it doesn't matter what he does, it's just a short-term experience anyway. Compared with several other professions, the police profession has certain advantages. Just as a few people gradually accepted the occupations they had been drawn into, the staff who had been waiting for a long time came over again. Teachers, you have decided on your career, so starting from tomorrow, you will officially enter the workforce. Now let me tell you about your work locations. Teacher Kunkin works at the Development Avenue store of Lianjia Real Estate, and Teacher Huahua works at the Heping Avenue station of Are You Starved to Death? Teacher Yang Lin's workplace is at the Zhangjiawan police station. We have already greeted you at your workplace. You just need to arrive on time tomorrow. But just as the staff member finished speaking, Yang Lin suddenly said, I may have to arrive a little later tomorrow because I have to attend an opening ceremony. As soon as he said these words, the eyes of several people present immediately looked over again. At 8 o'clock the next morning, a luxury car parked at the hotel's entrance on time. Yang Lin also appeared at the same time. Today, he did not change clothes because he was going to attend the opening ceremony of Jinshan Plaza. He was still wearing the plain Taoist robe. By the time he arrived at Jinshan Square, the square was already crowded with people. Among them were guests specially invited by Li Wanbo to attend the ceremony, as well as reporters from major newspapers and media. Of course, more of them are local citizens in Jinghai. There were probably tens of thousands of people inside and outside. As a special guest at this opening event, Yang Lin quickly arrived at the guest seats under the leadership of the hostess. In addition to him, there were more than 10 other invited guests above the guest seats. Although Yang Lin didn't know these guests very well, he knew from their faces that these people were either rich or noble, and none of them were simple people. Just when his eyes were scanning these guests naturally noticed Yang Lin. With just one glance, they seemed to have recognized Yang Lin's identity, and an inexplicable light suddenly flashed in their eyes. The next second, the group of people all walked towards Yang Lin, with a hint of fawning on their faces. "You must be Taoist Master Yang. Zhengxian from my country is the director of Kuyuan Trading. This is my business card." "Hello, Taoist Master Yang. I, Ji Xing'an, am the director of De Dao Media. This is my business card. I have long admired your name, Taoist Master. If there is an opportunity, I hope you can come to my place as a guest." Daozang Yang, my friend Ma, is the general manager of Qian Lima Trading. Not long after, Yang Lin received a thick stack of business cards in his hand. Combined with the attitudes of these people, he didn't know that these people wanted something from him. As for what I wanted, it was just that. Thinking of this, he immediately raised the corners of his mouth slightly and quietly put all the business cards into his sleeves. For him, these people all have rich karma, and he can harvest them one by one when there is time. But obviously now is not a good opportunity. Because just now his eyes noticed some unusual figures at the scene. If he guessed correctly, these people should be policemen or policemen disguised as plainclothes. And this suddenly piqued his interest. Why do so many policemen appear at the grand opening ceremony of a shopping mall, and they all pretend to be ordinary people? Could it be that some criminal sneaked into the ceremony? With such doubts, Yang Lin decided to continue observing. At this moment, a man wearing a hoodie in the audience suddenly caught his attention. This man wearing a hoodie was seen walking through the crowd, touching the bodies of the surrounding onlookers intentionally or unintentionally during the whole process, and then pretending to be nonchalant. In an instant, Yang Lin felt a sudden realization. It's interesting. I didn't expect that this world has such exquisite techniques. No wonder so many plainclothes officers were deployed. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 168. As an invited guest, Yang Lin's guest seat was in a condescending position, so he could clearly see what was happening in the audience. And the behavior of the hooded man was naturally no exception. In his eyes, the hooded man would often just lightly touch the person next to him, and something would be missing from the person next to him. Either a wallet or a cell phone. The speed is so fast and the skills are so proficient that they can be called the ancestor level. Yang Lin originally thought that there was only one person like this present, but he soon discovered that he was wrong. In addition to the hooded man, there are actually 4 or 5 men and women who are as skilled as him. These people have a clear division of labor. One person is responsible for an area, and anyone may become their target. As for the person who was stolen, let alone discovering it, he didn't even react. In just a few minutes, these people succeeded more than 10 times, as if they were competing. More importantly, these people seemed to know that there were plainclothes men guarding the scene, and they specifically selected places where there were no plainclothes men. The more he looked at it, the more interesting it became to Yang Lin. At this time, the opening ceremony officially began. 2 hosts, a man and a woman, stepped onto the stage one after another. After a brief opening remarks, professional performers came on stage to perform. There are also some lottery activities interspersed from time to time. The atmosphere at the scene was so lively. And thanks to this, the thieves became more and more unscrupulous in their work. After a while, more than 10 victims were stolen. Perhaps because they had almost stolen it, or perhaps because they were worried about being discovered, the thieves were preparing to evacuate in the middle of the opening ceremony. When Yang Lin saw these thieves trying to run away, a smirk appeared on his face. The next second, he waved to the etiquette lady beside him. After the hostess came to his side, he whispered a few words to the hostess. Then I saw the etiquette lady hurriedly ran to the host's side. I don't know what he said, but a look of surprise suddenly appeared on the host's face. But in the end he nodded. Dear guests, we will invite the special guest of this opening ceremony, Taoist priest Yang Lin, to present a special program to everyone. As soon as the host said this, the atmosphere at the scene suddenly became more enthusiastic. If only a few people knew Yang Lin before, then after this period of high-frequency exposure, almost no one in Jinghai, especially the young people, does not know Yang Lin. When he was sitting at the guest table before, everyone was fine, but now that they heard that Yang Lin was going to perform, everyone instantly started to look forward to it. The owner of this shopping mall is quite capable. He even invited Yang Lin. Yeah, Yang Lin is so popular now, I don't know how much it will cost to invite him to appear. Don't you know the connection between Yang Lin and this square? What's the origin? I heard that not only was the name of this square changed by Yang Lin, but the overall shape was also changed by Yang Lin. I heard it cost 100 million for just this look. I don't know what show Yang Lin will perform this time. Is he planning to sing a song? Just when everyone was speculating, Yang Lin had already walked onto the stage. Looking at the people in the square, he first bowed and then said calmly, I feel something bad today, so I specially prepared a small program for everyone. This show is called Exploring Bags and Fetching Objects. But before performing the show, Pandeo needs to find a few of you as assistants. Hearing that Yang Lin was going to choose his assistant from among the people in the audience immediately became excited, and they all wanted to rush to the stage immediately. But no matter how enthusiastic these people were, Yang Lin didn't even look at these people. Instead, he casually took out 5 pieces of yellow paper from his sleeves. The next second I saw him blowing on the 5 yellow papers, and the 5 yellow papers turned into 5 paper cranes. Pandeo wants to choose someone who is destined to be with Pandeo, so whoever the 5 paper cranes fly to his head later will be Pandeo's destined person. As soon as he finished speaking, he gently tossed the paper crane in his hand. The next second, these paper cranes slowly took off in the astonished eyes of the audience, as if they were spiritual. After a while, each of the 5 paper cranes flew above a person's head. Seeing this scene, the audience present immediately burst into cheers, and at the same time, they did not forget to surround the 5 people. The 5 people who were selected seemed not to have expected that they would be selected, and their faces were full of astonishment. At this moment, Yang Lin's voice came again. Please invite the 5 of you to come on stage. It won't take you too long. And Pandeo has a small gift for you later. The 5 people who were originally prepared to take advantage of the opportunity to run away, after some tangles, finally forced themselves to go on stage. But when they got on the stage and saw the people next to them, they suddenly felt something bad. Especially when they met Yang Lin's smiling face. Don't be nervous, everyone. You just need to cooperate with Pandeo. You will do whatever Pandeo says. Look at what I have in my hands. While talking, several people saw an extra cloth bag in Yang Lin's hand. Before they could understand what Yang Lin's behavior meant, Yang Lin continued. This pocket is connected to your body. Through this pocket, Pandeo can take out all the things you hide on your body. I don't know if you believe it or not. Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, several people naturally didn't believe it and immediately shook their heads. But at this moment, Yang Lin's hand suddenly reached into the bag. After groping for a moment, he took out a mobile phone. And this seems to be just the beginning. After taking out the first mobile phone, Yang Lin quickly took out a wallet. When he saw this wallet, the hooded man suddenly panicked, because he always felt like he had seen this wallet before somewhere. but Yang Lin didn't give him a chance to think about it. After the wallet, there's the phone, and after the phone there's the phone. Just like that, the cloth bag in his hand was like a bottomless pit, and cell phones and wallets were constantly being taken out. At first glance, the audience thought the scene was very strange. But they soon realized something was wrong. I'll go, that wallet seems to be mine. The phone just now was mine, and the phone cases are exactly the same. My cell phone is also in there. How did Yang Lin do this? Magic is still magic at this time. No. He said those things were taken out from those people. How come those people had so many mobile phones and wallets on them? Mad. They are thieves. After a while, the audience finally came to their senses. At this time, Yang Lin also put his hand into the bag again. But when he took it out again, there were 5 pairs of large silver bracelets in his hand. How's it going? Do you like this little gift? Facing Yang Lin's faint smile, the 5 of them were already frightened and lost their strength. The next second, a group of plainclothes policemen swarmed up. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 169. On the stage, as a group of plainclothes police officers swarmed up, the 5 thieves were also arrested. It was only then that the audience finally realized what had just happened. Let me go. It turns out that these 5 people are really thieves? I asked how Yang Lin could change so many mobile phones and wallets. Yang Lin must have known that they were thieves a long time ago, so he deliberately tricked them into taking the stage. TCH. Spells are spells. They have to trick us into thinking it's magic. These thieves are so unlucky that they met Yang Lin by chance. Thankfully Yang Lin is here, otherwise these thieves would have succeeded today. Just as the audience was talking a lot, a young man who looked to be in his early 30s also walked out from among the plainclothes policemen. After the young policeman ordered his men to take away the thieves, he immediately came to Yang Lin. Hello, Chief Yang, I am Lu Ming, the Deputy Director of Zhangjiawan Police Station. I am really grateful to have you here this time. Otherwise, it will take a lot of effort for us to catch all these door robbers. Hearing the young policeman's words, Yang Lin couldn't help but show an expression of interest on his face. Burglary? So they are still organized crime. Yes, these guys are committing crimes nationwide and have committed many crimes across the country. They just arrived at our place recently, but their methods are extremely covered, and we have never had conclusive evidence. As he spoke, the deputy director named Lu Ming saluted Yang Lin again, and then prepared to turn around and leave. But at this moment, Yang Lin suddenly spoke again. Deputy Director Lu, you are preparing to go back to the police station, right? Why don't Pandeo go back with you? Pandeo also needs to go to your police station just now. As soon as these words came out, Lu Ming's face was full of doubts. Taoist priest, do you want to go back with us? Do you have anything to do? Does going to work count? Work. While shocked, Lu Ming seemed to suddenly think of something. By the way, yesterday the city bureau called and said that a special colleague will be joining our office today. Could it be you? If nothing else, he should be a poor man. As he spoke, Yang Lin raised the corners of his mouth slightly. More than 20 minutes later, at the door of Zhangjiawan police station. With the arrival of several police cars, a figure wearing Taoist robes also appeared at the door of the police station. Before that, a van with the words "Refueling Workers" printed on its surface was already waiting there. When the people in the van saw the figure in Taoist robes, they immediately rushed over as if they were seeing a relative. Teacher Yang, you are finally here. We thought you wouldn't come today. Yes, we have been waiting for a long time, waiting for you to come and start filming. Several other groups have already started, and Kunkan and the others have already started working. By the way, Teacher Yang, why did you come here in a police car? Listening to the chatter of several people in the program team, Yang Lin recounted what had just happened in detail. When several people learned that Yang Lin had solved a large-scale theft case before he officially joined the company, they all showed admiration on their faces. As expected of Teacher Yang, you have already solved such a big case before officially joining the company. While sighing, the program team turned on the camera. At the same time, a large number of viewers and fans flooded into the live broadcast room on the other side in an instant. Yang Lin has finally started broadcasting. I thought there would be no Yang Lin in the second season. Finally we're here. I just came from Huahua. Huahua has already delivered the first order in the morning. I don't know what kind of occupation Yang Lin is doing today. Huh? Look at the white and blue background, it feels a bit like a police station. Is it possible that Yang Lin's occupation today has something to do with the police station? The program team won't arrange for Yang Lin to be a policeman. Just as fans in the live broadcast room were speculating, Yang Lin had already entered the police station under the leadership of Lu Ming, deputy director of the police station. Facing a group of police officers who were working seriously, Lu Ming immediately introduced him very formally. Dear colleagues, we have a new employee in our office today. Welcome. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a burst of warm applause. Almost everyone's eyes were focused on Yang Lin. As a celebrity today, it is obvious that they all know Yang Lin. But this does not prevent them from being curious about the matter itself. After all, Yang Lin is a star. For a star to be a policeman, the contrast is too strong. What's more important is that Yang Lin is not an ordinary star, but he is still wearing a Taoist robe. On the other hand, after learning that Yang Lin actually joined the police station, the fans and viewers in the live broadcast room were once again in an uproar. Oh my god, the program team is really serious this time. It's outrageous that Yang Lin is asked to be the policeman. Tisk, 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 this is interesting. Let a Taoist priest be the policeman. Hey, I think it's very interesting. It's more interesting than the stars in other groups. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the purpose of the program is to let the public deepen their understanding of a certain profession through the participation of these celebrities. It would also be good to know more about the work of grassroots police. Suddenly I'm a little excited. Just when the fans and audience were extremely excited, Lu Ming also took Yang Lin to get familiar with the work of the grassroots police station. The work of our office is mainly divided into 4 major areas: security, patrol, household registration, and criminal justice. According to the above requirements, you need to rotate in all 4 categories. And our main responsibilities include combating criminal activities, population management, and community prevention. Before Lu Ming could finish introducing all the functions of the police station, a middle-aged woman hurriedly ran into the police reception hall. Comrade police, my battery car was lost just now. You have to take care of this matter. I spent 2 months' salary on this, and I haven't ridden it for a few days. If you don't care, I won't be able to live anymore. As soon as she finished speaking, the middle-aged woman sat down on the ground and started rolling around. No matter how many police officers tried to persuade her, she ignored her. Seeing this situation, Lu Ming's face immediately showed a look of helplessness. Obviously he has seen this kind of thing a lot. For a grassroots police station like theirs, cases of lost battery cars are simply a common occurrence. Just when he was about to ask a police officer to take notes on the middle-aged woman according to normal procedures, Yang Lin suddenly said, "How about today's work starts with this lady?" As soon as these words came out, Lu Ming's eyes widened immediately, and after thinking for a moment, he finally nodded. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 170. In the police reception hall, as the middle-aged woman burst into tears, the police officers present showed expressions as expected. According to her, she just parked the car on the side of the road and went to buy groceries. When the groceries were finished, the car disappeared. And what a coincidence, the section where the battery car was lost is in a small, run-down neighborhood. There is no surveillance, and the crowds are relatively mixed. Basically, there are people from all over the world. Under such circumstances, it is basically impossible to find the battery car. But the middle-aged woman obviously didn't care that much. "Comrade police, no matter what happens today, you have to find my battery car for me. If you don't find it today, I won't go back today. Auntie, please calm down. Even if we are looking for you, it will take time. Then you should send people out to look for it now. The more people, the better. It's best for all of you to help me look for it. Otherwise, what will happen if my car is resold later? Auntie, you can't be unreasonable." "Who is being unreasonable? Don't you police officers serve the people?" Faced with the middle-aged woman's unreasonable troubles, the young policeman responsible for reception was also miserable, but there was nothing he could do. At this moment, Yang Lin's figure suddenly walked towards him. "Madam, if you trust Pandeo, Pandeo can help you solve your problem." Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, the middle-aged woman who was still rolling on the ground raised her head. But when she saw Yang Lin wearing Taoist robes, a trace of suspicion flashed in her eyes. Do Taoist priests these days have to go to the police when they encounter problems? Besides, I lost my battery car and I'm not looking for marriage. Why do you, a Taoist priest, come to join in the fun? Faced with the middle-aged woman's doubts, Yang Lin was not annoyed and immediately responded with a smile. "Pandeo can be considered a policeman today. If you can trust Pandeo, Pandeo will find the battery car for you right away." "Huh? Are you a policeman too? Weird, there are policemen wearing robes." Perhaps because of some interest, the middle-aged woman suddenly stopped being so noisy. "Okay, since you said you can help me find the battery car, you should go out and help me find it now. I'm still waiting to use the car." In response to the middle-aged woman's urging, Yang Lin first shook his head, and then said calmly, "Looking for it, Pandeo will naturally look for it, but you don't necessarily need to go out to find it." As he spoke, Yang Lin picked up a form on the side, with the relevant information of the middle-aged woman clearly written on it, including date of birth, name, etc. At first, everyone didn't quite understand what Yang Lin was doing, until he took out 3 copper coins from his sleeve and lined them up on the table. In an instant, the eyes of the fans and viewers in the live broadcast room lit up. Come on, Yang Lin's unique skill is coming. Isn't he planning to use fortune telling to figure out where the battery car was stolen? It's really possible. I just asked why he suddenly took on this case. Ha ha ha, interesting, metaphysics solves crimes. Compared to the cheers of the fans, the police present showed a hint of suspicion. In their view, Yang Lin was nothing more than someone arranged by the superiors to do propaganda work for their grassroots police stations. Even if Yang Lin makes soy sauce every day, they won't say anything. But they didn't expect that Yang Lin would create a mess for himself as soon as he arrived, and he would even solve the case in such a mysterious way. For a moment, the police officers present felt it was funny and amusing, and at the same time they also had a hint of expectation. And in the anticipation of many eyes, Yang Lin suddenly put away the copper coins, and a look of confidence appeared on his face. "Madam, if my calculations are correct, your battery car should be less than 1 kilometer away from here at this moment. The specific location should be in this area." As he spoke, Yang Lin drew a circle on a regional map with his finger. In the middle of the circle is a farmer's market. Yang Lin even pointed out which stall in the farmer's market it was at. Immediately, The faces of the surrounding police officers showed doubts, not because of anything else, but just because the location given by Yang Lin was too accurate. Even if the battery car is equipped with GPS positioning, it is generally impossible to achieve such accuracy. And the middle-aged woman didn't believe it even more. How is it possible? I bought my battery car at this place. How could it be possible that I have returned to this place? Nothing is impossible. If you don't believe it, madam, you can go to the place Bendeo mentioned and look for it. Maybe we'll find it. Anyway, the place Bendeo mentioned is not far from the police station. Although the middle-aged woman didn't believe that her battery car was there, perhaps she couldn't help but be shaken when she saw Yang Lin being so sure. In the end she chose to stand up. Okay, I'll go to the place you mentioned and take a look. What if there's nothing there? If not, how about Bendeo giving you a brand new one? Hee, that's fine. After receiving Yang Lin's promise, the middle-aged woman immediately stopped making trouble, stood up, and prepared to walk out of the police station. As the deputy director, Lu Ming immediately arranged for 2 policemen to follow him. When half an hour passed, the 2 policemen returned to the police station with a dejected middle-aged man looking cheerful. Before anyone came in, they shouted excitedly. "Director, I found it! The battery car I just lost has been found." As soon as these words came out, everyone in the police station was in an uproar. And at this time, the 2 of them continued. "We followed the place Yang Lin said and found the place where the battery car was sold. Guess what, it was the person who sold the battery car who stole the battery car. This kid took advantage of the convenience of selling battery cars, installed a GPS in the car, and left a spare key. He could easily steal the sold battery cars back. When we found it, this guy was preparing to sell the stolen battery car again. If Yang Lin hadn't figured out the stolen battery car, this kid's skills would have been so subtle." As the 2 people explained what happened, both the police present and the audience in the live broadcast room showed disbelief. On the one hand, they were shocked by this man's magical operation, and on the other hand, they were shocked by Yang Lin's amazing ability. It's easy to find a stolen battery car with just a few copper coins. This ability is quite explosive in the entire criminal investigation circle. Almost instantly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up.